Nope, that's the guy. On this show, we break down what's happening in bar culture, business trends, tourism, and the realities of running places people actually want to spend time. Hey, it is podcast number 2. You're cheesing at the camera.
Listen.
I don't know, but do we have to cheese at the camera as much? I'm not sure.
Well, people are going to be watching the video, so
you got to look at it. All right, so we're this is podcast 2. If you haven't listened to 1, we launched the first podcast. Didn't really put it out there yet, but had some friends and family watched it, got some feedback, or listened to it. I encourage you to check it out before you listen to this one. If you're already on this one and haven't done the first one, maybe take a pause, go back and listen to that first one, and then come back. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts as well, so you can find us anywhere. We'll put an email at the end of the screen too, so end of the show if you want to get in touch with us. But yeah, here it is, Bar Pod.
Dude, stoked. I think it's
number 2.
You kind of alluded to it. This is going to be so cool because dare I say we're listeners and viewers and us. It's the ground floor of something that we're trying to do, so we don't know if it's going to work. We're trying our best. We're going to do different things here and there. So it's kind of cool to see it develop. We'll see what works, what doesn't, and get some stuff from people that we know and people that we don't.
Yes. So before we get chatting about things, and we'll talk a little bit about where we're at, but we are at Paddle Bar in downtown Sandusky, Ohio, on the shores of Lake Erie. And we're, like I said, we're still trying to figure out the format of this podcast. So we'll just kind of adjust as we go.
Dude, we've added mics and headphones, so look at how professional we look. Is that?
I don't know that mics and headphones takes us to the professional.
Yeah, we're never going to look that professional. Let's be honest.
All right. So how's your week?
You know what? I had some excitement at home. If we're going to go that route, my water heater in my house went to hell.
Yeah.
That's a pain in the butt.
It really is. I'm building that other bar, not too far from here in Bayview, Ohio.
Yeah.
A new outdoor bar.
Yeah.
And Will, our construction guy,
he's the man,
who's awesome, shut down work at my project for a day to come work at your water heater.
I heard that. I didn't feel bad at all. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He told me. For the people that don't know, his name's Will. He's the man, and he just kind of helps us out in every facet when it comes to, especially Ryan, with projects large and small. He even helped us do a lot when it came to building Paddle Bar. But he's the best, and he came over and fixed my hot water heater and apparently had to pause construction on Ryan's.
You're going to find out in the bar business, just like many businesses, but I feel like the bars are extraordinary. Probably a lot like if you operate a lot of rental units, things like that, things break a lot.
I'm finding out that owning anything pretty much sucks.
Just owning a house.
Yeah.
I get it.
House, car, bar.
I'm kidding. It's just all of that.
Bars cooler than the house.
Bars are more fun, at least.
Yeah. What about you? Did anything happen with you crazy?
My wife was out of town all last week. So it's funny because I thought I was going to be like Mr. Bachelor and be out every night, hanging out with friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I did that the first night. And then after that, I stayed at home with the dog most of the week. If I wasn't here working, doing something. So my evenings, because, I work during the day a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of hanging out with the dog, watching TV.
Did you light some candles at home, set the mood, take a nice bath?
I did not take a bath. But I did play. You know what? There were some moods in. I played a lot of video games.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
That's what happens. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're of that generation, but you get some time to yourself once in a while. Play a video game.
I like spending some time in Hyrule. Let's face it. And for those in the audience that know, Hyrule is Zelda, so I can't help.
Yeah, let's not delve too deep in that. People, stop listening. And watching.
All right.
What's next here? I feel like Mitch Hedberg, man. Look at my list is bending up. He always had this list that he had read off of.
A great comedian, by the way.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So, you know what we didn't talk about last time, and this is, like I said, when I was referring to us trying new things and being on the ground floor of our little podcast here, we didn't really talk about the origin of Paddle Bar, and I think when you're listening to this and listening to us, it's probably pretty important to see how things happen down here and how the building that we're sitting in came to be.
Yeah. So, long, short story, we're sitting here in Sandusky, Ohio, and Chad and I grew up here. We both moved away, different places, spent a lot of time in Colorado. You'll notice you see a Colorado flag right above my head. I like to represent where we came from, or where we lived. But Paddle Bar, Chad and I started a public relations firm. That was my past business. And and but we always had this vision of an outdoor shop. Didn't have something to playing frisbee.
Yeah, when he said we started a PR firm, Ryan started it. I was still in Colorado at the time, but he was doing so well with it, he needed help. So I came back and helped him. And then we were, it's a very, very short story, but we were taking a break and having lunch, and we went outside to play frisbee in the park and just kind of like get outside and blow some steam off. And I don't know how exactly it happened, but we pretty much that day saw that this building was for sale.
Yeah.
Officially.
Well, we knew it was for sale, I think, but it was it was a shitty building. It was in bad shape,
falling
apart. And not only did we have the PR firm across the street, but I lived across the street at the time.
Yep.
And just got tired of looking at the shitty building.
Was that what it was?
Well, it was a good excuse to fix
Well, I had just come back from Colorado not too long ago, and we were talking about, man, wouldn't it be cool? We just basically said, man, we should open an outdoor shop. I believe I said that, and I was like just joking, like pie in the sky, this is stupid. And Ryan, like he does with pretty much all the ideas, goes, let's do it.
Yeah. So, we got some investors,
Made it happen.
things like that. So, and we need to actually clarify it. Paddle Bar was an outdoor shop before what we're sitting in right now. We started it as Paddle and Climb, and did kayak rentals because we're right on the water. We sold kind of higher end outdoor goods, Patagonia, Cotopaxi, things like that. Stuff that we were passionate about. But just like anything else in business, we found out we had a climbing wall in here. We had a 3-story climbing wall in the building,
32 feet.
and we were getting by. But COVID kind of shook things up a little bit. We realized that we had to pivot if we wanted to keep the building, keep the business going.
At the time, we were renting where we're sitting at right now.
That's right.
It looked a lot different, of course, but we were renting it to a nice lady who did a coffee and fresh juice shop.
Yep. And then the rest of the building was the outdoor shop.
Yeah.
But she wanted to expand, so it was a good opportunity for us to open the bar to this great location we have now. And now, to be fair, we worked at the Volstead Bar, which is a small speakeasy, so we knew the bar business a little bit. Well, he knew it forever because he's been a bartender for so long.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how Paddle Bar started. I believe Paddle Bar started right when the COVID restrictions were just starting.
It's like 3 weeks later.
Drop, yeah. So we opened right after you didn't have to wear a mask anymore. The timing was good because it was summertime, so a lot of outside seating. So if you were worried about COVID or viruses, you could sit outside and still kind of be, not feel like you're cramped in a tiny little bar. And so it really went pretty well from the get-go.
Yeah, and who knew if it would have done as good if some people, you see the timeline and where we opened and when we opened. Oh, that was during COVID, wasn't it? You're like, you know what, though? For us, I don't know if it was the same way for everybody, but it provided a little extra momentum because people were so like excited to get out and drink and just enjoy each other's company because, you were stuck inside your house for so long by yourself.
That's true.
So that's kind of a cool story, and that's how it happened. And then, as they say, the rest is history up to the 5-year mark here.
Yeah.
Or 8 if you count how long we had the other project going.
And I think one of the reasons for this podcast is not only are we having fun doing it, but like it's a good way to kind of connect with the audience that come to Paddle Bar, because a lot of the folks come to Paddle Bar, we're a very seasonal bar. Not that we don't have a decent little winter crowd, a lot of great locals in the wintertime. In the summertime, it's a tourist bar, it's a boater bar. The area that we live in, it has it's like north of 2,000 docks within the downtown area, which is the highest population in the Great Lakes. So we got a lot of people that are from the region that are only here in the summer. And so hopefully you guys are out there listening to the podcast, and we can still chat with you a little bit until June rolls around.
That's right. Well, I think that's enough serious talk for at least the next couple minutes.
Yeah.
We want to move on to what I think, and this was a suggestion from one of our listeners who we know pretty well, to do a bar story of the week. Yeah. I think it's hilarious, right? Because
just kind of a funny, a tale or story
of something that funny that
Wait,
happened.
now, is this the one where you're going to tell like a story like something weird that happened in the past, or is this like something that just happened this week?
I think in the past.
Okay.
Any story that pops up, and if you're okay with it, I feel like I need to share one that makes me laugh every time somebody says, "What's your favorite bar story?" I've got a ton, of course. I used to work at Put in Bay, but from here, and I'll keep it as short as possible. I was basically I still bartend on Friday nights, as a lot of people who are listening might already know. But a lot of times in the summertime, you'll get weddings and large events come in towards the end of the night sometimes. And there was a large group of boys, of dudes who came in, and they were, what do you say? Tuned up.
They were tuned up. Yeah, 20-somethings probably.
Yeah.
Mid-20 wedding.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Wedding. They were having a blast. Good for them, right? We all do when we go to weddings. That's time to let loose, enjoy yourselves. Anyway, they came in. We're already pretty banged up. So I was kind of watching everybody and making sure I didn't get them too drunk after that. But they stayed till the end for most of them, right? And they had a group of, I want to say, about 11 guys, 12 guys. And everybody took their last drink, blah, blah, got out of here, right? Didn't hear a thing. The building quiet as a mouse, right? It was about 12:45. I stayed open a little later. So I take about half an hour. I get the bar cleaned up. I get everything going. And now, since this time, I have amended my order that I do things during close.
And this is important. We'll talk a little bit about the actual safety part of this.
100%.
How you learn a lot in the bar industry.
100%. But the last thing I did that night at about 1:35 was go and clean the bathrooms and check the bathrooms, right? So I go up to one of the bathrooms and the bathroom door is locked. I'm going, well, that's weird. Maybe somebody just bumped the handle, right? No big deal. Come on. So I jiggle the handle, knock on it just to make sure nobody's in there. Not that I thought that anybody was in there. I said, okay, blah, blah. You know what? It's 1:30. I'm going to open the door. Okay, I open the door and just get this visual in your mind, okay? I open the door, toilet in the back left corner. There's a gentleman, full tux, staring at the back wall, just standing up, staring at the back wall. He hears me come in, and he just turns around. Picture this, right? Okay? Picture this. He's like this, facing this way. He hears me come in, and he goes, Am I the last one here? I swear, dude.
I need to, I got it because a lot of you are going to listen to this and not see what he just did.
Oh, fair. You're right.
The guy was facing the other direction and slowly turned around at a very
snail's pace.
And realized that he had been, I'm assuming, just staring at the wall for an hour or so.
He was staring at the wall. And the best part was his phone was on the ground. His pants were not all the way on. And his nice little Sunto, he put one of those Sunto like watches that are very expensive with an altimeter in it.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the toilet.
It's not good.
So he was having a rough time. And to say the least, we had a conversation. I made him some coffee. I actually got him pretty well set up before I sent him on his way at about 2:15, so that I knew that he wasn't going to get in trouble. He was coherent. He was able to walk in a straight line. But I took care of him, and I found out that he was staying in a house on Central Ave, which is not that far from here. But you could imagine what I thought when I saw that. And since then, now every time I close the door, and we've told this to the other people that work here as well, the first thing you do from now on is check the bathrooms. Yeah, because you never know who's going to be in there.
That brings up a good point. Like a lot of the bar business, this industry is it is learning. Always be safe, always card everybody. That's the first thing. It just, that's the way it is. You don't want to risk it in trouble. No. But also, there's a limit to letting your guests have fun, but making sure they're not, slide them a water when you should.
Yep.
After a few drinks, things start getting a little loose. Make sure you're backing them down a little bit. You as a bartender have the control, and I think it's important because you can get in some trouble.
Oh yeah.
If those sort of things happen. So you did it right by okay, we changed the rules. We checked the bathrooms now. You made sure that kid was good to go.
Yeah.
Got him coffee, water.
Got him coffee. We actually got a hold of one of his buddies too. I didn't mention that part. So
yep. Make sure he's not driving, of course. The number one thing.
Yeah, and you're
that's the guy.
Oh.
Hey, we are back. You notice we got an abrupt cutoff there, and that is because bar business. That was the guy coming to replace the tank, which ran out last night for the CO2. Well, it didn't run out. It's just nobody knew how to put it together, so I took care of it, and we're back in business. But that's what happens a lot in this business. You never know. You are at the mercy of distributors,
delivery drivers,
the guys who fix the
beverage people.
Yeah, it's
every time.
If you want to do something else, you will get a phone call if something's going on at your bar.
It's like the joke that all the bartenders have about if you're having a mellow night, if you want people to come in just start eating your food that you brought with you.
Yeah, order some Jimmy John's or some Jersey Mike's, and you can you can almost guarantee that you'll be packed in 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to interrupt your lunch.
Oh shit! There it is.
Yeah. Where are we at here?
I think we're kind of getting into a little bit of some industry stuff. The industry pour. What's going on? Trends. Last week we talked about how there are fewer folks drinking now than it's some historic number. And then I saw just this week, Jim Beam announced the biggest bourbon distiller in the U.S.
Halting production
at one of their distilleries.
That's interesting. I will say, bourbon-wise, you remember there was 3 or 4 years ago, maybe it was at its peak. People were like waiting outside of places to get special bottles and things.
Yeah,
and like it was the hysteria went kind of crazy for a while.
Yeah. So you think this? I mean, yeah, they're not laying off anybody. It's just a strategic pause, is what they're saying. Of course.
Yeah.
But what does that say? The biggest distillery in the country. The biggest brand, I think it's the biggest brand on the planet, actually.
Bourbon-wise?
I think Beam is the biggest. I know they're owned by I think a Japanese investment firm or something like that.
Huh.
But anyway, that doesn't really matter. But that is happening. The craft beer thing is changing. Breweries are just falling like. I really want a good metaphor here, and I got nothing.
Dominoes. I don't know. That's the easy one.
I was gonna say I got nothing right now.
Yeah, it's fine. No, you're right. And we might as well revisit what we talked about briefly last week or 2 weeks ago, because it is in your face still, as far as people not drinking as much, going out less, distilleries shutting down, breweries shutting down or halting service. Some breweries shutting down, because in Cleveland right now it seems crazy. There's like the last couple months. And I think we mentioned it last time, dude. Of course, there's some people out there that just shouldn't drink. I think that's obvious. That either got too heavy into it, have health issues, of course, right? But I think we touched on that drinking can be good if you, in moderation, for community building and relationship building and things like that.
A lot of things get done. But kind of back to the bourbon thing a little bit. The other thing I think is hurting them, and this is not a political show. The uncertainty around all this tariff stuff is scaring the industry. And so without this being a political show, I will say this. Would you just fucking chill out and stop changing things every goddamn day?
It does seem like there's a lot going on.
You're just screwing with everybody.
Yep.
And the problem is big companies like Jim Beam, InBev, which is Budweiser, they are gigantic, even big restaurants, Applebee's, things like that. They can make these adjustments. Small business folks, it is a lot harder for us, and we're getting fucked with, and I'm sick of it.
Dude, I agree. For any listeners out there who do own small businesses like ourselves, I don't want to say you're always waiting for the next, like a shoe to drop, but there's always a little bit of uncertainty. You're looking at your books, you're looking at what you did this year, and then what you're hopefully do next year. You're thinking, listen, is there going to be a slowdown? Because everything right now points to it. But so far, we haven't seen any drastic moves in the stock market or in anything. But again, like I said, things are pointing that way. Jim Beam halting production.
The level
breweries
of
shutting down.
The level of uncertainty is just dangerous for a bar.
It is.
And, it's tough for small business. I mean, it doesn't just implicate the small business, but you're talking bartenders lose hours, servers lose hours. Because the bar business goes, okay, well, maybe I have to do this week, and I got to shorten my hours, or I can't buy fruit because fruit went up this week, so we're going to do this, and we're going to make this cheaper. Well, if you make something cheaper, that's great for the consumer, but it also hurts the staff, because their tips won't be as high.
It does.
Because the bill's not as high. So I don't know. It's just something to be a little concerned about, and something to think about as as we kind of see what's going to happen with this economy and this. It's less drinking, but I think it's also economy. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think it's two things together that are making this a tough industry right now.
And just an overall slowdown in pretty much everything. It seems like we'll see where we are next year. Transitioning into another kind of cool thing that we somebody brought up last time they watched the first episode. We should talk a little bit about what we're drinking, right? Because this is going to be a staple of the show. We're going to have a few beers while we talk.
Drinking. Yeah, we're drinking. Are you drinking? I'm drinking Kirin Ichiban right now.
Same thing. Nice
I
Japanese.
like light Japanese beer.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not.
Although it's made in Torrance, California, but
Right.
it is a Japanese recipe, and,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. I love dry Japanese beers. Like Asahi's another good one. And we normally don't. We weren't able to get a hold of this beer, but him and I like it so much that we did, and it turns out other people do too. So that's what we're drinking. Kirin Ichi.
Now, fun fact for anybody that is listening that can be in the bar within the next week. I know the craft beer thing is not as popular as it used to be, but people still do like their craft beer. And we have a main dinner in the cooler.
Oh my gosh, forgot it's in the cooler already. For those of you who don't know, Maine is a brewery, as you might have guessed, in Maine.
What? I thought it was in Miami.
Fostoria. No, I'm kidding. Again. But they have a tremendous beer that's called Lunch. It's just an IPA, a single IPA, and it is so tasty. And it's one of the beers that we have on tap a lot, and a lot of people have grown to love. I'd say maybe 3 or 4 times a year, probably. We get their kind of creme de la creme IPA called Dinner.
Yep.
And we have one ready to tap pretty soon. It's getting
Which is kind of perfect for New Year's Eve coming up, and then we take our little break in January.
So for all you IPA lovers out there,
if you're in the Sandusky area, I would pay attention. We use beer menus. You know, they'd be a good sponsor. I'm just saying.
Maine?
Beer menu.
Oh, beer
both
menus.
would be, but beer menus. Maybe we got to reach out to those guys and say, hey, we use your stuff. Maybe we can.
They're trying to,
they're trying to grow. The one was untapped in the industry for a while, and I feel like they got a little pricey, but still a good product.
I like to do that. I like to, but you can't see it, but I like to tap the papers like
you can hear it
too.
He's like Walter Cronkite over there.
For sure.
But I think that's talking about the beer industry and the bourbon industry, and yes, people still drink craft beers, but we've seen it change. It is now more lighter beers, and you're seeing breweries make lighter beers now. All of a sudden, you're seeing everybody's making a lager and a garage beer is a great example.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I called that a couple of years ago.
You did call that.
Because for a while, it was straight IPA. Everybody was just insane about IPAs, which, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of people that love IPAs, but now you're seeing, like you said, lagers, pilsners. You're seeing that kind of stuff. Lighter beers flow onto the scene.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No, very good. Very good. And that just brings up that, you can't build, you always panic when there's something big happening in the industry and it's like slowing down and things like that. And you're like, but it's usually typically not permanent. And, don't base your entire business on trends.
No. Because
they change all the time. I mean, remember White Claw was huge.
Yeah.
Then it was High Noons.
Yep.
Now it is Surfside and Sun Cruisers and all that. Those things went out the door all summer long. But now we're sitting in here in December and they have slowed way back. And now we're drinking stouts again, and heavier drinks.
That is an interesting conversation within the bar business, right? It's kind of, I guess you could say other things are like that as well. Fashion, kind of everything. But everything's always cyclical, right? It's the same way. There'll be another boom probably for IPAs soon again. It's like I said, they haven't fallen completely off. Of course not. People have grown to love their IPAs, but things in the bar business especially are cyclical. And it's hard, I think, you kind of grapple with how long trends last, right? The IPA trend, for example, and the serious craft beer trend lasted for a long time. It got really heavy for a long time.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were out in Colorado then when it was just that state was kind of the craft beer. Well, and some of the other western states, I think Oregon, that area, big craft beer. But boy, you'd come back to visit Ohio, and nothing really craft beer wise.
Right.
And now Ohio and Michigan have probably more craft breweries than a lot of the western states.
Yeah. And then you've got and then also look at you've got some really so that kind of thing was a long trend, right? And then you've got something like you'll remember this. Remember the Sunny D trend?
Oh yeah, that was one summer,
dude. One summer.
Talk
about but people were digging them.
We couldn't keep it in stock.
We were joking around that Capri Sun was going to come out with alcoholic beverages. But like if you have, it's weird. You have something like that lasts
Kool-Aid
4 months. Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, don't do that. I heard a story. I heard a story. Just a little funny thing of those when they came out with Sunny D. There were kids. So in most big cities, grocery stores are monitored, self-monitored. You got to scan your ID to get stuff, right?
Yeah.
To get an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
In some smaller towns, it's still, a lady or a guy just standing there checking IDs. There were kids this is not funny, but kind of. As long as nobody got hurt.
They weren't knowing that they were getting
Correct. They would
thought
just
they were getting
got,
Sunny D.
They got smart and were covering up the logo that says it's an alcoholic beverage and going,
no.
hey, ma'am, I want my Sunny D to go, please. And it was a booze drink.
And this is why you got to be careful.
You do.
This is why you got to be careful.
You do.
So, with all that talk, do you think there's anything that, small bars and restaurants, particularly bars, because we are a bar. In the first say, I don't know much about the restaurant industry. I know a lot about the bar industry.
Yeah.
Anything they should be looking for right now? Anything they should be ready for? Any predictions? Any predictions of what's, you said you called at the craft beer thing would mellow out a little bit. You got anything coming? You think we still got room for a Kool-Aid beer or a Kool-Aid seltzer or something?
Kool-Aid seltzer. That's the thing. You never know. Right now, I feel like we're going to see a little bit more of the iced tea stuff.
The iced tea stuff.
I think that's a longer trend than just one summer.
Yeah,
because they really got crazy this year. I think you're going to see more flavors. I think you're going to see a couple other companies come out with them. I mean, even High Noon started doing their iced tea things after Sunski or Sunski.
And the Lucky Dogs and all that. And then beer wise, I think it's right now it is Mick Ultra and Busch Light. Grant, you could thank Landman for Mick Ultra.
Yeah,
it is just a commercial for Mick Ultra.
Well, in Yellowstone, I think
Coors got
one of our favorites.
Yellowstone,
Coors Banquet. Coors Banquet got popular.
Banquet. I think that's something you'll see for sure.
But as far as a crazy prediction, man, I don't really know. There's going to be something next summer, right in spring, right before summer and spring, that's going to come out, and you'll be like, oh, what they did? What? I don't know what it's going to be though.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems to me the lighter stuff is what's moving now.
Well, now
we're a little skewed because we are a summer bar a lot, so we sell a lot of that style of drink.
Right.
We picked up, but I'll tell you what, Christmas stuff has been rocking this year.
Christmas sales are killing it.
Christmas sales, which is, I would say, actually is bucking the idea of craft beer not doing that well, because Christmas sales, anything we put on tap, Christmas wise, has been kicking butt.
Can we give a shout out? We can do this, right? We can give shout outs to regional breweries and stuff that we love.
We can talk about whatever.
I'll tell you what, we've had now 4 beers, I think.
In Ohio breweries?
From Schnitz in Parma.
Yeah. Have you been there? I went there.
It's
a cool place.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a great beer.
I know they're probably not listening. Maybe they'll see it somewhere. I don't know. But dude, we had an Oktoberfest beer from them. I think it was a fest beer.
Yep.
We had their Schnitz Ale, which is I think might be their flagship style beer, lighter beer.
Yeah.
And then we also just had their
Elise Navidad.
Yeah,
that's on right now. I'm reading it on the board right now.
It's a winter warmer, and it's phenomenal as well. So I'm gonna give a shot. That's what I'm gonna mark it down on my piece of paper here for next time. Shout outs to local breweries and things that we like. Schnitz.
I like that. That's a good call.
Right
there you go. See, we're developing the show, and I think you bring up a good point there too. We talked about how maybe craft breweries are hurting a little bit, but then again, the standouts are still kicking butt. So it just goes to show sometimes the industry gets tighter, and you got to figure out how you rise to the top to stay ahead of the game.
I was going to say the cream rises to the top, and that's a beer pun, but I didn't mean it.
That it could also be a hot soup pun.
What kind of soup are you eating? Probably a bisque. Maybe a bisque.
I like a bisque.
Yeah, I like a nice bisque.
So, hey, we're wrapping up, I think, here, because we're getting there. Yeah, we're about to hit the 30-minute mark. We said we wouldn't go over that.
Yeah.
You got any good stories from, and we talked about the story here, but just any legacy bar stories from maybe your Put in Bay days or something like that?
Legacy bar stories?
Something crazy. Or maybe traditions.
Traditions? Man, that's a tough one.
I'll tell you a tradition we have here.
Let's hear it.
I'll tell you a tradition we have here. And, we do these things here for our guest. And this is actually a good way of kind of not having people drink too much and still feeling part of it. We do half shots here.
Oh,
we call them one-way trips to Mexico.
I like,
because it's tequila all the time. And I think it's hilarious because, it allows a person to have a shot, be part of it, but not get a crazy amount of alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to kind of, everybody still has fun, but it keeps things under control and folks safe.
I love that. The one, and I guess if you were taking a shot of Jameson per se, you'd say a one-way trip to Ireland.
Right. Yeah. All you do is
it just
whatever,
seems to be
wherever it's from, that's your destination. But tell you what, right now you're not taking a one-way trip to Kentucky.
No, not with Jim Beam anyway.
At least not that one.
No, I love that. The one, yeah, and Can we tell just a tiny little ender, a funny backstory about that? I don't know if it was you or who started it. Maybe it was one of our buddies. But when we used to take half shots, somebody came up with the idea and they just said, "Can we do a little bump?" Do you remember they used to be called bumps?
Yeah.
And then somebody kindly let us know that that's what they call little sniffers of cocaine. So
Just remind me of that Saturday Night Live skit. Little bump.
little bump. Oh, Shane Gillis.
Yeah, Shane Gillis.
Yeah, a little bump. No, so we had to back off that, and we switched it to one way, which I think is a little better.
Yeah, I think one way.
You don't want people thinking that you're doing cocaine in the bar, because that's a no.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that anyway.
You don't want to do that at all.
It's bad. So maybe Colombia, but that's a different trip.
What do you think? Did we carry the energy this time? This is our second podcast. Did we carry the same energy from the first one? What do you feel?
No, I feel like maybe we were a little quieter this time.
I do too. I feel like
you know what? It's because we don't have Dad behind the camera in this one.
I know,
because he's not going to be able to be here every time. He's going to help us when we can. Yeah. But him cracking up behind the camera was
It was good.
Maybe we need a live studio audience.
Live.
I mean, you could always do it when the bar's open. That would be pretty funny. But I don't know. I still think we're doing all right. We'll keep it going. Keep figuring it out. That's why, please, if you're listening, give us feedback. We are figuring this out, and it's just an opportunity to still connect with people. We're having fun with it. And who knows? We might start doing it with guests eventually. I know we're going to do it. Right now, it's 2 times a month. Yep. Next month, I'm going to spend some time out west skiing. Chad's going down to Key West, Florida, and we're going to do a podcast from. I don't know what bar you're going to be at. You got one picked up.
I'll tell you what. I want to do Schooner Wharf, but like how I'm thinking about logistics now. How are you going to keep that? How's it going to be quiet enough to do a podcast from a bar?
We can do it. There's ways. Noise canceling headphones. We can adjust the audio and
it's either going to be Schooner. Let's be honest, Schooner, Green Parrot, or who knows, maybe even Pepe's. I don't know. I
don't know where I'm going to, because I don't know where I'll be. It is going to be weird if you just like post up and do it in the corner. That's what I'm saying. What the hell are you doing?
I'm not. What are they?
Or maybe you have to talk. Maybe if you talk to the bartender, they'll dig it.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Maybe do an interview. And that's the thing. You can't just. We're just not a podcast.
No.
Right now we're just
two schmucks
talking to an iPad.
Yeah. Listen, and we did decide that on a last note. I think we're having a lot of fun with this. Hopefully, anybody listening or watching is having a good time too, because we're just kind of bullshitting, talking a little bit about industry trends and stuff that we like, stuff that we don't like, and I'm loving it.
As you can see, there is a script, but it is loose,
extremely loose.
All right, and with that, I think we're out of here. It's that time. I got to open the bar.
Oh, it's your Tuesday.
I got to work tonight.
Oh boy!
All right, let's get it going. We'll see you next time. Happy holidays.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
And we'll get back to you in the new year.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. BarPod is hosted by Ryan Whaley and Chad Whaley, produced, recorded, and occasionally rescued from bad audio decisions by our dad, Tom Whaley. Mostly at Paddle Bar on Sandusky Bay, sometimes at other taverns, back rooms, and wherever a microphone and a cold beer could coexist. Recorded primarily at Paddle Bar in Sandusky, Ohio, where the drinks are cold, the stories are warmer, and the Wi-Fi is surprisingly reliable. Music editing and general figure out is done in-house. Mistakes are ours, opinions are ours, hangovers vary. Questions, feedback, bar stories, or mild complaints, barpod@paddlebarsandusky.com.